So we got some stuff to talk about actually this week.
Oh man,
we do. The chief one being that JoJo Siwa is on the Hawk2 podcast, and I'm still scandalized.
Oh
no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Oh really?
I have not. That was like.
See, I didn't
is she
know
in her
that.
goth mode, or is she?
I think so. She's in her gay Pat McAfee stage of her career, where she just talks. She talks like a football player, but she's like a 19-year-old girl.
Okay, well that's better
Right.
than the tweet. Yeah, I'm JoJo Siwa.
Yeah.
This is how I talk.
Yeah, her fans are on a different trip.
That's the poor kid.
Yeah.
now she's like, I talk like this now. Is that what she's doing?
Yeah, she talks like this.
Mm-hmm.
And she's really...
She's got like a new voice?
Yeah. She's got like a whole grown-up package.
She's going to be like Daniel Day-Lewis. She doesn't know what her original voice is anymore.
She's going to be like a... Yeah, she's fucked up. She's like a...
This poor kid.
Yeah, poor kid, yeah.
Yeah, she's all brain...
That's
I mean, she was one of the dance kids, so she was like her mom.
Sure.
Yeah. Joni follows all the dance moms. Yeah, so she knows. She knows. She's known JoJo for a while now, and yeah, that kid's fucked
Along
up.
with the one that Sia adopted. Didn't Sia adopt one of the dance kids? And then put her in her offensive autism movie?
Oh.
Right. That's right. I think something like that happened.
Yeah, they there was two main girls on Dance Moms for a long time. One was JoJo Siwa, and the other one was the Sia girl.
Speaking of bad movies, we got to talk about Megalopolis.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so for the
bad movies.
So for the first time in probably 6 months, we all saw the same movie in the theater,
relatively
like
close
the same
together.
week,
Yeah.
and I think that's a monumental. Like, look at us.
Yeah, it's been 6 months since I went to a theater.
And looking at the box office, we were the only three people that saw that movie.
Yeah.
The only three. Yes.
You're welcome, Francis.
Okay, so I think that James, just from the text speech so far, just from the text conversation that we've had about it, James saw it first, and I think that he was the most generous about it. I think it made me the most irrationally angry, and I think Wade got the most pure enjoyment out of it. That's just off the top of my head. Am I wrong about any of this?
No,
I think so. I think of the movie in retrospect very fondly.
Really?
It is. No, not in the way. I don't know. I guess it's like beyond. Like, how do you enjoy? Yeah, this movie's complicated. You have to get into like, it's not a good movie, but I'm not liking it.
Okay,
It might be my favorite movie in the world right now.
Right.
I am Megalopolis-Pilled. Megalopolis-Pilled for sure.
Yeah.
When I'm not watching Megalopolis, I think, why am I not watching Megalopolis? Because I can't get to go to the theater. It's not playing anywhere. That's why. But
I will definitely watch it again, but only to see because it never has there been. Yeah, never has there been anything like this.
You're correct. Yes.
It's usually where it's got big actors in it. So, like Adam Driver's in like almost every scene.
Oh no. Everybody's top shelf. That's the thing. Okay, let's go talk about Adam Driver just for a second.
And they're putting the work in too. Like nobody's like phoning it in.
Kind of. I mean, I think some people are playing at the top of their skill level. Yeah. I think that the lead gal is playing at her ceiling.
Ooh, yeah, she was she was rough.
She's not phoning it in.
No, she
turns out there's a reason they didn't give Miss Sunday more storylines in Game of Thrones.
I think that's absolutely. I think that's like there's a reason why we haven't seen her and fill in the blank. But no, okay. So the last 3 movies I've seen Adam Driver in.
Oh
get
yeah,
this
is bad.
They are Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. It was Michael Mann's Ferrari picture, and it was Ridley Scott's House of Gucci picture.
Oh yeah.
So this guy is all these generations. He clearly has something that these old heads like desperately need or recognize.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he's got like a generational quality.
Yeah. You could see him being in like The Godfather in 1972.
Yeah, he'd fit right. He could. Yes.
Yeah.
He doesn't have like what do they call it, iPhone face, like the face that's clearly stared at an iPhone before.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's got a little bit of history. He's got a little bit of old. He's a little ugly and handsome at the same time.
He's got weird moles on his face.
Yeah.
Like I saw it in IMAX. I saw him up close. We're like,
No, he's not just so. He's not like Chris Pine, where he's just kind of so pretty of a man. But he's also interesting looking. Joaquin Phoenix has the same sort of features, I think.
Yeah.
But they also they also make like good choices.
Oh yeah.
In the moment.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So great choices.
And it's like he's got a resonant voice that really carries some. You know, it works. Yeah, it's
when you have to say a line like, and that entitles you to plumb the depths of my Emersonian mind. I mean, all that you're left with is how bad that line is written, not how bad it's delivered.
No, yeah,
it is though, isn't it?
It's a mess. I mean, how are you going to say that line naturally?
How are you going to say that line?
Yeah, well, naturalism does not come into this movie.
Nope,
nearly anywhere.
Right off the top, I wanted to ask you guys both this question. Okay, so Francis makes it very clear that this is quote unquote a fable.
Yes,
fable.
And I get why he does that to a certain extent. He's asking for license to do outrageous stuff. And maybe this is a generational thing, but why does it have to be a fable? Other than you're just asking for that license to do weird stuff.
Well, I think that he was going to make the fall of the Roman Republic shit so loud.
Yeah.
That and not embedded in like any sort of story. He was just, I mean, their names are the same fucking names. And
right.
like,
I've known writers that
use subtext.
Subtext. Cowards.
Yes. Yes, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think he might have had, I'm sure Francis takes psychedelics, even at his advanced age.
Okay. That led me to a different question. Yes, go ahead.
And I'm sure that he has like a hand, because there was legitimate, like, we can make fun of him, but there's some legitimate shots in this movie that you can tell this guy wanted to get out of his head.
Oh yeah,
sure.
When the satellite lands,
yes.
and all you see is the figures on the building.
No, he's a visionary.
There was one thing where it looked like the rocks were moving, but it was people's faces.
Yeah,
like all the weird shit with Adam Driver's hands in the club in the club.
Club, yeah.
Right. Yeah, nothing about this movie is a failure of craft. That's what
I mean, it kind of also looks like shit, though.
Are we sure? I mean, there's some. I mean, the writing is a craft.
Well,
right?
I guess
that's still considered a craft.
Well,
but other than the script, and other than it looks a little cutscene-y, you know, it does look a lot like the Linkin Park video.
A little. It looks a little.
Yeah.
That's
fair point.
No, he uses green screen kind of like Tommy Wiseau does in The Room. Like those rooftop scenes. Come on.
Yeah, I think he wanted to be comfortable. He's an old man. He just wants to...
Yeah, well, they can't get to the top of the Chrysler building.
Yeah.
Come on.
Right.
And he wanted the skies to be golden. There was some sort of halcyon sort of nature to it that made it all fake, and it made it, and he embraced the fakeness. He didn't want to have to answer for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's far. I mean, it's not a great movie. It's a pretty fucking horrible movie, and
I don't know, man.
But it's a kind of movie that like Fellini made movies like this.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of these sort of art school guys that they specifically went ahead. They really idolized.
Sure.
But like and I think that like I remember watching parts of Kurosawa's Dreams, and I was like, I don't know if I knew the cultural relevances, this wouldn't be kind of stupid too, like but but we have a clear contrast to it this year with Miyazaki's The Boy and the Heron. Like,
Right.
that was a masterpiece and was weird and cranky and like it was all of those things and it was good.
Yes.
This was
Not.
yeah, you laughed out loud like
did.
I did.
Are we supposed to laugh at the clurbs like that? He thought that
think so.
He thought he was cooking there.
He thought he didn't think it wasn't funny. I mean,
I think that he thought it was satirical. Like he clearly thought he was taking a shot at celebrity culture. I get that. I mean, I get what he was aiming at.
You get what he's getting.
yeah, I get it.
I get what he's aiming at. You don't have to convince me of that, but I think that this has been inadvertently, this has been one of my 2024 hobby horses, which is, I've said earlier this summer when I read a Yankee and Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court, about axe to grind art. If you have an axe to grind and you're going to make art with the express purpose of grinding the axe, you have to be able to operate at like a high level to pull it off.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just disastrous.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be preached to.
Yes.
Nobody wants to see ham-fisted stuff. It's not entertaining.
Yeah.
Counterpoint. I don't know when I've been as entertained though, guys.
But yeah,
I could say it's a bad movie, but like I haven't gotten this much joy watching a movie in I don't know how long. So who am I to say? And
that's true. I mean, and I get that. We are getting a lot of prepackaged garbage. I get that.
Yeah. Or just dour shit. Like the Joker movie just sounds like a fucking like slog of like misery. It seems miserable.
Misery. It's miserable. It's
for a musical. Like wait,
for a musical, a Lady Gaga,
Yeah.
Well, and also like other visionaries, like Alex Garland is making movies that are difficult on purpose, like miserable on purpose. Miserable on purpose. Robert Eggers seems to be going down that path. Like The Northman was not good.
I like The Northman, so we just.
I
haven't seen it yet. I still need to see it.
I guess we disagree.
It looks gray, and I you know what I mean with gray movies.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's some nice red and blacks at the end. When
I think it's a failure.
Fighting on a volcano.
I think it's a failure, especially after reading The Long Ships, which is like a celebration of like human life.
Yeah.
And like being alive.
Oh, it ain't The Long Ships.
Right.
I'll say like if The Northman were an adaptation of The Long Ships, I would say I see that you're going for the opposite of that. I don't know if I would go along with that because
But I guess this is my point about being miserable on purpose. Getting back to what Wade was saying about not having a good this is like probably the best time you're having at the movie theater in 2024. I get that because
the movie isn't taking itself very seriously.
No, like
how do you like my boner scene is
it? It kind of is.
Nah, I mean,
sometimes it does.
Yes, but it doesn't take itself.
But it has a sense of humor about it. I did think that
it does.
But on the other hand, when it needed to be powerful, it wasn't.
Right.
So like that whole dumb sequence with Grace Vanderwaal, which
who's that?
The fucking there was a whole Me Too subplot in this movie that just gets fucking dropped.
Oh, the
like, where they made the AI of him fucking the girl, but it turns out she wasn't a teenager, but it turns out that they weren't. I don't know. Like, what the fuck was that? Like,
that was like for an auteur from the 70s. That was a little bit
yeah.
That was.
You already got Shia LaBeouf, who we know just beat the shit out of FKA Twigs.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Shia.
Yeah. Like they were all, what was Bowie doing in the 70s? Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and John Voight too. I mean,
this
is a weird.
Yeah.
It's also weird because John Voight is a Trump like a vocal. He's on Fox News like 5 nights a week.
Yep.
Well, yeah.
You know,
Arguably, that's why Francis wanted to cast him, because he wanted to do something with that.
really? Or do you think that
No,
he's...
that's like avowed. That's
Then
like
why didn't, if he really wanted to do that, he could have not cast his sister, who is just doing her brother a favor in this movie. And because she was clearly like, I've done 2 movies that people remember me for. I'm happy. I'm going to be rich. I own the vineyards too, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah. Well, it's like that's a family affair.
Oh,
It's-
does she too? Is she a
I
partner
think
of the
so.
Vineyards?
And her son's got a really good career in Hollywood and sort of music. Like,
Oh yeah. I mean, like the elder care, the elder care situation is good.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
her.
yeah.
Yes.
She doesn't have
Right.
to go out there and do this shit anymore. Cast Susan Sarandon.
I don't think she's doing a favor. I think like she's.
Where's my left canceled people?
Yeah, right. I think it's like Francis is doing a big dumb movie. Let's get the whole family involved.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's all it was, right?
Maybe.
But like he's on record as saying, I think the Voight as I want a Trumper guy to do this thing. I think that's like
I think it's intentional.
I think it's been stated.
But on the other hand, the movie is pretty clearly obnoxiously anti-Trump.
Right.
Yeah,
Sure.
So like, because there's oh my God, the dumbest thing, the only thing, and boy, I had to keep. But the only thing that broke through my don't roll your eyes defense was the swastika,
The tree stump.
trunk.
Tree stump,
And
yeah.
then that guy with his like toady had
yeah.
that tattoo that you see on their I don't know if they're Nazi flags or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever that stands for, that symbol.
It was clearly a fascist tattoo signifier. Like,
Yeah, it was a fascist tattoo on his head.
Yeah.
And so he wasn't being subtle here.
No, there's nothing subtle about
and
this.
Right.
So, like,
I guess that kind of gets back to the fable aspect of it. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I think that he wanted to call it a fable because he wanted license to do, because it's not science fiction, because he never has
Explain
to
what
like he's never
unobtainium.
right.
No, it's definitely not. I mean, it's more of it's more expressionism than science fiction.
Yeah. I almost think of it's like we came up when we were talking Joe Dorowski.
Oh yeah.
Like I think Joe Dorowski, except not sexy and like kind of like
Well, there's a
tough.
little-
Yes,
but like
Yeah.
there is. I mean,
yeah.
There's some sex in yeah.
oh my God.
we know how he feels about blonde Fox News co-hosts.
yes. His lecherous eye to Audrey Plaza is doing a lot of work here. Yeah.
Right, that's the Megyn Kelly analog.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Much upgrade.
He's doing Metropolis. It's not subtle with all. This is a movie of collage. It's all collage,
That's,
I mean, the main character can stop time.
and it's
Like,
never
that,
explained.
That might have been.
Sure,
and
and
then
actually-
you have to get over that at the beginning.
that's the thing I was on board with the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he had that. I think that's why the movie built up early on when I was viewing it, because I was like, I had read all the stuff. I was aware of what I was going into.
Oh, see, I was cold. I was going in cold.
I went in as cold as I could. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was totally aware of what this movie was going to be, and so I was prepared. So I think that maybe you dealt with a little bit of like insanity shock, but I walked into it knowing that it was going to be batshit.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
Right.
And then when it laid itself out, like I found it buying a lot of goodwill in me. I was like, look at this. For the most part, it looks like the scenes are shot well. He's clearly got visual ideas and stuff to say.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not just like, like a movie. It's not like The Room that's horrible and they're just putting the camera in the most convenient place.
Right.
Like the guy had images he had in his head that he wanted to get out.
Right.
And he self-financed it, so it's not like I can say he's ripped off here. But so this is all like a
No. That's the thing. That's another thing. Because we know it's self-financed, we know that nobody interfered.
yeah. Oh yeah.
With this. This might be the last.
Yeah.
This is sort of, in a weird way, the last auteur,
Oh, Luke.
like big auteur stop.
Lucas could do it.
He could.
He
but
could, but it is not going to.
I don't know. Ooh, you don't know.
He
might have been inspired by this.
I don't think his craft.
He kind of already did this with. He kind of already did this.
He did that with Red Tails, right?
Yeah, Red Tails.
No, but he didn't even. But he didn't direct Red Tails, and Francis Ford Coppola's been making bad movies over the last 20 years, guys. He didn't disappear. He made a Vincent Gallo movie that I was like, I turned off in 10 minutes. I was like, this is fucking atrocious. He's made movies, and they're bad. He just never has made. He hadn't made a $120 million movie with Adam Driver in it. And I guess Shia LaBeouf is like the second. I guess Giancarlo Esposito is the second lead in it.
Yeah.
He's really the antagonist of the story, but in a way I don't really understand. Like I don't understand what his qualms are with the goop. Like why doesn't he like the goop?
Oh yeah. That's never explained. That's not a failure on your part.
No, I'm sitting here trying. What's up with the goop?
Well, he stands for the status quo. And
I know, but that's got to be rooted in something.
And we need to have a talk about the future.
Yes.
And he doesn't want to have it. He's got his money in casinos.
What it is,
and he's like
the context for this is actually rooted in the Power Broker because the mayor is an amalgamation of 5 different mayors in the Power Broker that had power struggles with Robert Moses. And what the thing is that Robert Moses, he collected state and city titles for separate authorities like Infinity Stones until he ended up with like 8. Like he ended up with the 17. At the point I'm at in the book, he's got like 17 different titles, like positions.
He was like Daenerys Targaryen when he came in.
Yeah. No. He had 17, and so he had more power than the mayor, and so he was so all of the state and federal money that came from outside sources were going to his projects, and they weren't going to schools.
Yeah,
they weren't going to, and so a lot of the like the beginning when they're on the scaffolding.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's weirdly staged.
And they're quoting,
and they're going back and forth,
and they're quoting Shakespeare. Yeah.
Yes. That is all directly lifted, from Shakespeare and the Power Broker. Those are actual, but they're completely abridged, no nuance.
No nuance in this movie.
No nuance to it at all. But it still doesn't explain story-wise. And I think this is another problem I had. I always thought of this as an oddball. Like I never got immersed into this. Mm-hmm. Like I always knew I was watching like an oddball art project. I think so too, yeah. Whereas when I watched Killers of the Flower Moon, I was immersed immediately as a story, like as a movie, a story.
So this is a much more Brechtian production.
You are. Yeah, it is. We're not. Yeah, this is an odd duck. Like in this great,
it's very odd.
Yeah, everything about it is just feels odd.
Yep.
And
there's nothing like it.
There really isn't. There kind of really isn't. It is because I think that like these ideas, not the script, not the scenes that we saw, but these ideas about like, I think they're interesting. I think they're what works need to be about. Do we need to be living this way? How can we live differently? And what is like the arguments for that? And which this movie does not show at all, because Adam Driver can do no wrong, and he is the perfect man. Thank God he is here to help.
That's another thing. Yeah, that's okay. That's another problem I had, is that his view of genius as license to do whatever was kind of disgusting, actually.
No, that was
and he had nowhere to grow.
Yeah,
he's kind of a Howard Rourke character in that sense. As much as I hate to admit it, but
it does seem like. But even that, because I got a lot of like Randian vibes from like anti. I think he's playing with Rand.
Yes.
I got a lot of Randian vibes from it, and I was like, okay, so all of this stuff I don't hate. Having it focused on the city, focused on New York, make it New York. have these whiffs of like the fall of the Roman Republic, because I do think that's interesting. We could descend into like a dictatorship.
Mm-hmm.
In like 4 weeks.
Yeah, it could happen pretty fucking soon. But like, so I do think that we're near these things, and playing with with Ayn Rand and her sort of view of aggressive American style capitalism is obviously a good target.
That's interesting. I didn't even put that.
But none of that happened.
Yeah. Who does all this stuff more adroitly is China Mieville. I've been reading
China Mieville.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, well, when you have a bachelor's degree in social anthropology and a PhD in economics, and you're an avowed communist, you and you're like a generational talent writing wise, you could kind of unpack a lot of ideas. well
cleverly, and you have a good sense of like, because you're a writer and like the stuff that a story needs.
Yes,
like that Francis didn't know.
Oh God, yes.
That your lead character has to have somewhere to grow, and they have to be the ones taking the decisive actions in the story.
Right. But maybe he should have an ex-wife that maybe he murdered, but now he's in love with this other person, and it's
And now they're ripping off Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He may have murdered his ex-wife.
I had no context for that. That
was like
story.
I don't know. Like, yeah, it was like you could have probably cut that, Francis.
And it was over in like 5 minutes. Like I try. Like, did he kill the wife?
There's like a revelation that Caesar's like, oh, I framed you or something at one point, or like, oh, I'm sorry, and then he apologizes for it or something. Like, I don't know.
Everything about it was weird, and I never understood why.
Was he?
Was he what?
I don't remember.
Was he framed?
Yeah, he was framed in the sex thing. That was AI.
Yeah,
and then there's a point where Caesar says something about like they found his wife's body and he did something to make it. It was like, and it like. But it didn't really matter, so I don't remember the details of it.
I think he invented the goop to save her.
That I did not understand.
She died of natural causes. A car crash, maybe?
Oh my God, the goop on the face.
Okay, so he invented the goop to save
her. Sam. Oh my God.
What he said?
He had
Megalon.
He has a kid shoot Adam Driver in the face. He's eclipsing his own take the cannoli, leave the gun. He's eclipsing his own.
Yeah.
No, if you're gonna talk about famous like assassination scenes or whatever, or like murder scenes, I think you're gonna talk about Sam before you talk. You're gonna talk about a 12-year-old kid blowing away Adam Driver in his limousine.
Yeah, it was, and him not dying. Like he didn't just die on the spot. They took him back to the hospital and put the goop in his face.
Slap some Megalon on his face, he'll get better.
One of the times I laughed out loud was when he unwrapped the mummy wrap, and he went into like quadruple exposed him, and then like and I think like a sitar came out over like that.
Yes, it was.
Oh man, I want to watch it again right now. When's it coming to stream?
He was like, I guess he shifted from being Apollo to being, I don't know, Muhammad or some shit at that point. But or some sort of Phoenician, what do they have there? Zoroastrian god or some shit. But like
maybe.
Yeah, like what a Yeah. Okay. So I was going to say, I think that the movie struggles with its politics pretty mightily, and it's because he's a hippie. He's a boomer hippie.
Yeah.
Okay. So his view,
but he's also rich.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like all boomers, for the most part. He thought that he associates radical economic politics with radical free expression.
Yes. That is, oh, yeah.
And so the idea that everybody can, and those are not necessarily, they converged, I guess, in San Francisco in the 60s, but there were like distinct two categories. Like the Grateful Dead were not communists. They did not like hanging out with left-wingers. That was not their bag.
No,
their bag.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But then if you ask them their global politics, it would be like, yeah, man, because it's empty-headed shit. Because everybody's on their own self-discovery journey.
we could make liberalism out of radical humanism.
Yes,
man.
Exactly.
I pledge allegiance to the human race.
To the human species. Yeah, human race.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then for the world government, like it was all like one world is shit. One world government shit.
Yeah.
And it was so goddamn babyish at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when your politics should be getting the hardest nose, the most convincing.
Right.
But he didn't have, none of that shit worked because he sees himself in this character. And if you're Francis Ford Coppola, you don't want to have any tethers on your life. You don't want anybody. It's why all of Hollywood's anti-vax now. Mm-hmm. They don't like people telling them what they should do. No rich person likes that. They all think that they deserve to be rich. They all think they got there on some sort of merit, and they don't want plebeians telling them what to do. It's the American spirit right now.
Right. Or forever.
And that's on left and the right. On the left, and you're seeing that with Francis Ford Coppola. This movie is all about how everybody should get out of Adam Driver's way.
Well, the Federalist says that this movie is Kamala's vision of America.
Now and then all of the goals were very much like when they showed the pictures of the cities, which with all the that look like every book called Utopia on the self-publishing website.
Right.
Just these gauzy. I've never understood how a picture of a city is supposed to be like. I don't know, inspiring of the future. It's so very weird to me. Because every dystopia also has a pretty skyline. You can see Blade Runner and go like, wow, that looks beautiful. What if LA looked like that?
I don't understand. I think that there's they were trying to sell public transit as a way of creating the utopia.
Yes.
But
anti-Moses
with glowing.
Yeah, the utopia was just a magic material that does whatever you want. You can walk on it.
Yeah. What's that called? The Decline of American Cities. The written by the woman who was the enemy of Robert Moses, who set that the public outcry against that. What was her name? Jacoby, I think. Mm-hmm. She's a character on Miss Maisel for some reason. I don't know why.
That's so weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
Palladino probably shares politics with Francis in a lot of ways.
Probably, but probably anti-union too. But I think that I forget what I was saying now. That this idea of the city planning will unite the people. Well, it's very weird.
Yeah.
And I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out that. If you have the politics that I have and you're in the country that I'm in at this moment, how do you square the circle? What does the journey look like to get to some sort of changed, social contract, And I don't know. It's a lot of power, accruing. And so I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that it isn't just urban planning.
No, I think the idea with the megalopolis is that it's some sort of
I'm pretty sure
everybody's the same because you can get there anywhere, and the rich people that he lets in are going to be on the same as the poor people because it's post scarcity or some shit or something.
Oh yeah, because the goop fixes everything.
The goop fixes everything, yeah.
That's so... It's not...
So I think that's the idea of behind the because you can get here and it'll just take you where you need to go and it'll give you what you need.
In a lot of ways, this is sort of a masterpiece of boomer stupidity.
Yeah.
Right.
Naivete. Yeah.
Oh no! This is lead poisoning. This is.
I pledge
This is lead
allegiance to our
poisoning.
human family and to all the species that we protect. One Earth, individual,
No, this is-
with long life, education, and justice for all.
No, we don't get this movie if unleaded gas was a thing, 80 years ago. That's.
Oh man, you're making an argument for leaded gas.
I think you're absolutely right.
Or if The Godfather had flopped, Francis Ford Coppola would have probably stayed in and been a much more sensible filmmaker. He would have evolved into William Friedkin, maybe.
Right. I think if you're gonna critique this movie, which I don't want to do, but
Yeah.
Francis is a lot better at adaptation of one
Yeah, but he wrote the
source
conversation.
than trying to collage every source into the ultimate movie for himself.
You're right. He didn't. I mean, he
Right.
didn't.
That's absolutely true.
His three masterpieces he didn't write alone.
Yeah.
We all know that he was I went and researched what is the history of Francis the writer. He heavily changed Godfather by himself,
Mm-hmm.
and then went over and then did a second rewrite with Mario Puzo. So, but the book he heavily edited The Godfather the book to be Godfather the movie,
Right.
and expanded a lot too. And so, I think that he took control of that, and that was all him.
Yeah.
And then he wrote the conversation by himself. That was just in his mind. But Mario Puzo and another writer had a lot of say in Godfather 2, and Apocalypse Now was written by John Milius, and it was an adaptation of
Heart of Darkness.
a very close adaptation of Heart of Darkness,
Right.
and a John Milius script.
Huh.
The politics of that is very interesting, but
Yeah. Right.
yeah, because I assume Milius was real pro.
Yeah. It's
Vietnam.
young Milius there too,
Well,
right?
yeah,
So
but
he's probably,
yeah,
I'm not that he was not that he was a
yeah, that's true.
liberal or lefty hippie or anything, but he was probably a little bit different than
Yeah.
he wasn't quite Walter from Lebowski yet.
He's the only boomer artist, right-wing boomer artist that I kind of respect, right?
Right.
What else did he do? Because I'm probably familiar. I think we've talked about him before.
Conan, no. Red Dawn. He wrote.
Right.
He is
that
Walter.
surfing movie.
He is Walter. Walter was based on him from Big Lebowski.
Yeah. What was that? The surfing movie was the big one.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The big wave, perfect wave, something about summer. Yeah, but Red Dawn is sort of the movie that's I think his daughter is a personal assistant of Donald Trump's.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I think so.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh man. So we're talking straight up ghoul territory.
No, but no, everyone loves him.
No, she is.
Yeah, probably. But everyone loves John Milius. The Coen brothers love him. Everybody that he's still. He probably lives with Francis Ford Coppola for all I know. He's still really tight with him. So I think it's like Walter, where he's the shouty guy amongst a bunch of hippies.
Right.
Yeah, and so he's a token conservative,
Right.
But yeah, and he wrote Conan. No, he didn't. Oliver Stone wrote Conan. He directed Conan.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what my point I was making, but I think that this is go back to my testament that this is boomer ideology. This is a boomer fantasy. This is what the boomer sees when their brain dies. The liberal boomer sees when their brain
Right. This is what we need. This would solve everything. And it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Not really.
I was going to say, do you know what would be the greatest conservative movie of all time? That would probably someone could make $100
What's that?
Just do Rebel Ridge, but switch the races.
Oh,
You mean Reacher?
Wait, he's not beating up racist blacks. They're like ghetto.
No, he's beating up small town white cops. Well, he's not beating them up. He's fucking murdering them.
Yeah, just
because he's a he's a special forces white guy that is off the grid. He can do what he wants.
Yeah, it's like the blacks.com meme from the internet, but with a grizzled man instead of a girl in the middle and sitting on the couch. So, yeah, like I think I just had that idea. I just threw it out there to whoever hears it. I'm not going to write that movie.
Sure.
But there's $1 million, like $1 billion waiting for you. But yeah, I think that it was okay. Now I'm coming around to just how horrible it is. I've been talking about how bad it is for now, but the only thing that sticks in my mind are like I don't know. Like I still think back on it with a little bit of joy. And I saw a late people. It was after midnight when I got out, but like everybody was in that movie was laughing and smiling and talking about the movie.
Yeah, like it was in the parking lot when I left. It was a very small audience, but
it inspires engagement.
Yeah,
right.
And I think because there's not
engagement,
no one's really saying
how many engagers did it have over there?
No one's really saying this movie is good. Well, no, I mean, but like in the art world, it's the people who talk about this shit.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, everybody wants to engage with it, probably for free,
right?
Yeah, not on IMAX prices, and it doesn't like cause arguments, like because we all know it's bad. It's like arguing whether wrestling's fake or not. If you're having a serious argument about that, you're in a special home. Like, you know, you're not
right.
Someone's already put you in that home. Yeah. So like it's one of those things where I think arguing about it, is it good? Like the way Killers of the Flower Moon was good. You know, yeah, I don't think it's that way at all.
No, if it's good, it's certainly not good in the way that movie was.
Yeah, it's not good like where you need to be reverent about it. Like, you know,
yeah,
like
no.
Yeah, it was good in that it gave me joy, and it's kind of guileless. I don't know. It seems like if this movie pisses you off, you may be like,
it does.
Wait, like it pisses you off.
It does.
Why?
Yeah. Because I don't want to see something so bad, I guess. Like
But
this
then
is
why
not
did
an
you like?
unschool-
Then why did you carve yourself? Why did you make it a part of your? I guess because you wanted to see it cold.
Yeah.
But like,
I wanted
this
to
is what the movie was good. Like I thought everyone knew that this is what
James.
the movie was.
No. Everybody online probably did, but I'm not that online unless you explained it to me. I just thought I thought it was going to be a complicated work. That's divisive because we have a visionary auteur who paid for it. Okay, I didn't know it was going to be like this. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I just got finished. No, and keep in mind, I just got done seeing his peers do high level work.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, Michael Mann's Ferrari movie wasn't like a masterpiece.
He probably got one,
and
more
it wasn't my thing. But it was. I mean. It was good. It's a good movie. Miyazaki, 80 years old, his still cranking out like a masterpiece. Flowers. I mean, I'm just watching his generation, and so I thought, here's 2024, gonna cough up one more gem. I guess like we're gonna get one more gem out of this generation, and then he dumps this on our head.
The thing is, like, he made exactly the movie he wanted to make. That's what, and I think he did it.
Maybe
like.
That was the joy I got in it.
And the thing that amazes me about it, he made exactly the movie he wanted to make that nobody else wanted. He's like, "Fuck you! I don't have to make the one that you want. I'm gonna make it how I want to do it. I'm gonna throw in all these subplots that don't even need to be there, and fuck it."
I'm sorry. I thought you knew more about it than this. I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was the context that. So if you're wanting to see, if you think it's just for yucks or whatever, and that going ahead, I think that's different than what I was hoping to see.
I think I got some. I think I enjoyed it on a. And this is going to sound pretentious as a creator.
Yeah,
I think some part of me, I enjoyed it on that level.
I think I did too.
Because
No, I did not.
Because, like, if he were trying to make a movie like Killers of the Flower Moon and this is what came out, I'd be like, oh, this movie was an abject failure. But, like,
yeah.
I feel like he made exactly what he wanted. He did exactly what he wanted to do with it.
He has this quixotic vision, and no one told him no, and he went with it.
Right.
And
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
nobody nobody got fleeced. Nobody got like.
Listen, I don't. It's not. It's the product. It's the thing that I saw on the screen that pissed me off. It wasn't all this behind the scenes stuff.
Because you were expecting it to be better.
Yeah, because I was expecting like a coherent story. Like I get so mad that there's not even a story.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like, I mean, if you're a storyteller on a story level, this is a frustrating.
It has been clear for 40 years that he left his talent in the Philippines. Like I think something about that movie broke him.
I don't. Yeah, like,
and he is not. He's like a baseball player that got rocked for like a grand slam in like in the World Series.
Maybe.
I don't know. Like, he got the performances were not Tommy Wiseau performances.
Yeah, but that could be casting.
That's good casting too. Yeah, but like he got
generational talent. He had Dustin Hoffman mutter like 4 lines and follow other actors around. That was a complete waste.
I forgot he was in it. The cast of Midnight Cowboy is in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. He didn't get I guess that's another thing is you have that much juice and you just squander it like that. It kind of pisses me off as a creator to have that much.
But this is all he had. This was literally all he had.
Yeah, I don't know that he squandered it.
It's frustrating. I mean, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not good. But it is not boring.
I don't know. I felt like it was.
What does it say? It insists upon itself, Lois. It insists upon.
I mean, there were some points where I felt like it was a kind of a slog. I was like, come on.
It did get sloggy. It did get sloggy during the recovery scene.
It was. Yes. That third act was. Once I realized this isn't going to concern itself with making sense.
Yeah.
It became a slog. And then it got to be a pedantic slog once you start seeing all the fascist imagery.
Oh, yeah.
And you realize, what you're watching now is just,
It's like watching your granddad try to do something. Like, you want to, like...
Not my granddad. This is like, what if your granddad made, like, the best movie ever? I guess... It would be kind of disappointing.
Well, yeah, but he did that a long time ago. We know that's not in him anymore. He is not Martin Scorsese.
I guess. I mean, now I know it.
The director that I think he's most like, but they chose 2 drastically different paths, is probably a lot like Ridley Scott, where you have this initial period where you come out of like scrappy, low-budget filmmaking, and you have this period where you make some bangers. You make a good personal movie with some good character acting. You make like a big fucking movie that gets a lot of fucking attention. And then it kind of peters away. But Ridley Scott made a movie every year, and Francis Ford Coppola built a wine empire. So it looks different.
Right.
But I think that they're both kind of comparable.
Actually, I think you're William Friedkin. I think you're William Friedkin.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Freaking too.
They had sort of similar story interests.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's probably
and kind of like behind the times, and have been behind the times for most of their career.
Right.
And I don't know why that is. It's probably because he wasn't. I that's why I was spitballing the cocaine theory.
Right.
That there was probably just a certain amount of energy and engagement and community at that time, and that was exhilarating for him. And it was the 70s in hot LA, so it was really like the money was flowing, and then enough to where these guys got two big movies. Like, The Godfather was a big movie, but like Apocalypse Now was a hard shoot. And so was famously Star Wars, which they were making concurrently. And so, and I think that maybe there was like these guys, and they weren't the only ones. Think of like, what was that, like Heaven's Gate?
Right.
And this is a period where people were just spending way too much fucking money on way too fucking pretentious of shit. And it caused that like crash, and I think they just never got back. They never understood Hollywood after. They couldn't change with the times. Like the way Scorsese did, even though he had that rocky period in the early '80s after Raging Bull.
Right.
He don't make a good movie for like until I guess depending on what you think of Last Temptation of Christ, until Goodfellas. So and that was like almost a decade.
Well, I think
it took him that long.
I think Age of Innocence is probably really good.
Oh, I like. I won't say I like After Hours, but I don't hate it.
Right.
Yeah. So, and it took him a while to get his footing back, and he didn't really start getting consistently great again until the 2000s.
Right.
But yeah, I think that just he adapted with the times, and there's something about Coppola, probably because he was stoned in fucking Napa, big rich. He didn't feel the need to work like Marty.
Well, see, that's another thing. This scene, I don't know how like drugs. I don't know what drugs can do as far as I have heard cartoonists talk about, smoking weed and drawing all night, and then waking up the next day and realizing it's not that the drawings weren't as interesting as they thought.
That happens.
Or like, and I think that could have. I mean, some of this stuff was like, this was clearly interesting. This scene, this set of images was interesting in the moment, it was so interesting.
He does not have a writer's process. He does not have come up, because I write stoned a lot. I do, and then, but it's a part of the process. This is first draft shit. Like, you gotta. I don't only write stoned. Yeah, you have to go back to it, and so you have to work it out, and then once it's made, you have to go like, do I like this? And then rework it.
Right.
What doesn't work,
absolutely.
and then rework it. He doesn't have that process. He was like, it's hard enough probably for him to write as it is. So
just collage something from some.
Yeah,
this is a great play. Everybody agrees.
Yeah. Like, I want a play that feels like this, but he just doesn't have the. He doesn't have the 10,000 hours or whatever to do that.
Right. Well, because it's not, the script is not what I like.
Yeah. No,
it's clearly not the strong point of this movie. It's like watching that. That's why I wonder what Joe Dorowski thinks about this movie.
I do too.
Because I don't know if you've seen The Holy Mountain.
No,
I haven't. I want to.
Yeah. I need to see that. I've seen sequences of it.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing. I don't know what the fuck, and it's just image after image. And you know what? It's boring as shit. That's what I thought watching The Holy Mountain, because I don't know what the fuck is going on. And there's but it's like all these weird little images, they're crucifying frogs in one point, and then they're doing all this Kabbalah, esoteric shit. I don't know what the fuck is going on here.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was going on with Megalopolis because it was dumb as hell.
Yeah, it was,
but by design.
Yeah, it's very telegraphed. I think he's probably been sitting in his you can imagine some sort of Spanish terrace. That's what I imagine. And he's sitting out there drinking like a giant goblet of wine, and he's thinking about the issues.
Right.
Trump's getting elected. He's on the Spanish portico.
Well, he was working on this. He's been batting this film around for 40 years.
Yeah, and by working on it,
and apparently
sitting on his cast.
He, when they were shooting, he was basically having to improvise on set. Let's change this stuff. So he's had this weird vision in his head. It's his own, idiosyncratic dreams. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, okay, I know what it is. I can, and so he just kind of gets it out when they're doing the shoot. He still had to figure out how to structure it. He didn't have it all together when they were making the movie. Mm-hmm. And but I think it's a masterful bit of improvisation craft-wise for him to get this out of it. But
it also might be like, because I've heard him talk, because when he talks about it, one of the things he said is he wanted it to be like a real collaborative, because he did all that. He did all this, like, him and Marlon Brando just made up the fucking scenes at the end of Apocalypse Now.
Right.
Like, they just threw out Milius' script at that point. And so, like, I think he likes doing that, but that was from the 60s era where everything was rich and everyone was on drugs. They enjoyed that. And now I think these actors probably expect a more Coen-esque set, where they're
some of them,
like they're where it's.
Well, I mean, Aubrey Plaza was really good, but she's no Marlon Brando.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't know, like, you can't, like.
Yes.
You could take the third build person from Parks and Rec and think you're gonna get a Marlon Brando type improvisation.
Yes.
To end your movie, Yeah.
I
don't know.
Yeah. So it was just very sort of silly, and I think probably, I could see that it was a fun set for Lawrence Fishburne and Giancarlo Esposito. They probably had a good time yucking it up on the set. It doesn't seem like Adam Driver had a good time. Probably because he's expecting a more sort of structured set, maybe.
Oh, I don't know what kind of time he had.
Yeah, yeah, but like, I don't know. I watched a bunch of behind the scenes stuff.
I haven't heard him talk about the movie. He's probably not saying very much.
Yeah, he's got maybe he should fire his agent. I don't know. He's been in some.
Do what he wants.
No, he can do it. Well, yeah, but I don't know if he's. I don't know. He's made a lot of bombs lately.
Right.
Like White Noise. I think all the shit I've seen him in, it just ain't been good.
No, he's been trying to do all these, like,
and he's probably working with the best people. That's what he's saying. I want to make the films with the best people.
Right.
He clearly is.
Yeah, but like they're not getting it. Like he's not getting them at their best. Like House of Gucci and Ferrari, and I haven't seen Ferrari, but it seems like it's a lesser Michael Mann film.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've seen it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and
I'm a big proponent of Michael Mann.
Yeah, that guy's good.
Yeah, I love Michael Mann.
Yeah, and I think Michael Mann's got one more masterpiece in.
Yeah,
and I think he can get it done.
I hope so. I'm here for it.
He's not as old as the others.
What is he? He's like 78. Or like he's up there.
Oh, he is. He is.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah,
he looks fitter.
Yeah.
Whenever you see him, he looks like he can still jog. Like.
Yeah. Tell you what, I think Francis looks better than...
Oh, no, he's not. He's 81 years old.
Michael Mann?
Michael Mann is 81.
Wait.
Oh,
yeah, Michael Mann is 81.
Oh, man.
Born in 1943.
What was his first movie then? Because, I think of like Manhunter or something like that. No, I think A Thief, which is 78. He was 40-something when he made that then.
Yeah.
Damn.
Makes me feel better.
That makes me feel better, too. He was probably also filming a ton of shit that we don't know.
Yeah. He was still doing more than me before Yeah,
it was like Fincher hit late. And it was like, no, he spent an entire career making every music video you watched in the 90s.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Every L'Oreal commercial.
Right.
Michael Mann's 5'8".
He's a little fella? I think I knew that.
Yeah, short.
It's taller than me.
Short king. All right.
Francis, you want to talk about short kings? Like, Francis
yeah. He's always been a little.
And you know what? I've seen. He looks better than the one time I saw.
Oh my God! You know what? I've never seen Public Enemies.
Oh yes, I haven't either.
I've never seen that movie.
That's the one where Johnny Depp plays
like Chuck D and Flavor Flav. Yeah, no.
No, Public Enemy. It's Michael Mann. It's Michael Mann's like John Dillinger movie.
Right.
Who played?
I'm looking back at what I haven't seen. God, I've seen so many Michael Mann movies.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen The Keep. They say that's on Criterion.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen that.
A group of Nazi soldiers unleash a malevolent supernatural force. It's like set in Romania during World War II.
Doesn't Christian Bale in Public Enemy? I think he plays the same character that Jesse Plemons played in Killers. Melvin, one of the founders of the FBI.
Interesting. Anyway, I don't remember how we got on Michael Mann. It's probably my fault.
Aged directors. Boomer greats.
Yeah. They're all part of it.
Yeah, boomer directors. Yeah, no, these guys are completely contemporaries. Yeah. I think maybe you're right about Francis and his, but I mean Dracula was.
Oh yeah, that was kind of fun.
I've never seen Dracula, but it's had some reconsideration after.
It has, and that was a very difficult set for Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman hated Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh yeah,
hated him.
Right. Yeah, that was when that came out. That movie was considered like a laughingstock.
It was
93.
Yeah, it got ultimately reconsidered, and it has some of the worst performances.
Yeah, Keanu is pretty bad in it.
Keanu, it's one of Winona Ryder's worst performances.
Winona's pretty bad too. Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't for those two, if it wasn't for Gary Oldman doing like a look at fucking him performance.
Yeah,
right.
And Tom Waits is Renfield.
Tom Waits is Renfield, but like Anthony Hopkins was sort of the other heavyweight in that movie.
Oh, right.
It's Helsing. So I think like that's a fun movie. I do like it, and it has ideas.
Same.
It has a lot of ideas. It looks crazy.
Yeah.
And all the scenes in the haunted house,
right?
Or in his
where he's crawling up the walls and
shit, and all the and that sexy ass weird scene with the succubi.
Oh yeah.
He can be horny. I think
he pulls off. He's a horny old man, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Megalopolis had that too.
Megalopolis had a lot of horny old man in it. That's
yeah, it had it. It had it too.
I mean, it's about 70%. Anything that's not Adam Driver's horny old man.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, and it. It is, and I think
What do you think of this boner I got?
Yeah.
Well, I've got a boner for Megalopolis in my Gene Shalit voice.
I'm trying. I think about artists and their horniness, because that's one of my things with AI is that nobody will ever want to watch a movie or hear a song written by someone who doesn't want to fuck.
Right.
I think that when I think about directors' different levels of horniness. Like I've been going through these Paul Thomas Anderson movies, and he's definitely a certain type of horny. And like it's got he's got a real strong whiff of horniness, but it's so contrasted to like Tarantino's horniness that I just got distracted by we haven't mentioned Brian De Palma in this entire conversation. But anyway,
another kind of horny.
Yeah.
Who I'm the only Brian De Palma apologist here, I think.
Yeah. But
I like De Palma. James hates De Palma, right? But I'm okay with him.
I do hate De Palma, but on the other hand, I think that's an older opinion I have. And I should take it off the shelf and see if it aged well, but I don't know. But because I haven't really gone back, it's like I haven't watched all of his, and I have like a higher taste for 80s sleaze than I did back then, probably when I was forming that opinion.
Yeah.
I might, and I'm hornier, quite frankly, than I've ever been in my life. So okay. I might be at De Palma levels of horniness. So I think that that could be. I could do that. But De Palma, I was saying, horniness about Tarantino's, but I was thinking about Martin Scorsese. I'm never made uncomfortable by his horniness, but he's definitely clearly got sexual tones to his movies.
Sure.
But he's very tasteful. He's very, I think it's the Catholic boy in him.
Probably.
Yeah, because I was thinking about even, it's a taste, he's never gross about that. He never lets himself get gross.
Nobody's ever sucking toes in his movies. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's always a scene.
And Megalopolis feels like the rebellion against the Catholic boy. It's like, all right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the other side of Catholicism, the Falstaffian comic. But I would rather have that have to sit through that again than ever have sit through what I think Joker Foie Do is probably like.
Right.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that, and I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
anyone. I mean, none of us are going to see that anytime soon until we
I'll watch it when it's on streaming.
when it's on free, when I can watch it for free.
Yeah.
I still haven't watched The Joker, and I'm sure I would probably enjoy that movie to some level. But like, I still haven't watched it. But looking at it now, it's really funny. Why did they think this kind of that? I would rather see that than whatever the hell happened on that movie.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think that this Joker movie, maybe just because sometimes we have industry talk, I think now the only movies will be Marvel movies and A24 type movies and reboots of shit like that already have been rebooted. Like I think they're rebooting Jurassic Park. We're getting a all new cast.
Probably.
Right.
Dealing-
They're rebooting Harry Potter again, I guess.
Yes, they're trying to do that. That's not working.
And apparently they've got AI and focus groups of the biggest nerds that they won't piss them off anymore and take any chances. Like, so it's all gonna suck.
So that's what, and I think that this Joker collab, because this was a $250 movie, $50 million movie, and it's not gonna make $50 million.
It's doing Megalopolis numbers.
It's doing Megalopolis numbers.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah, yes. And like, because I don't know if you read someone the synopsis of this movie, who would this movie be for?
Right. Well, it's because it feels like it has an utter contempt for the people that it's being made for.
Like everyone.
Yeah.
It is the most misanthropic movie ever made.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I want to go back real quick about who's this guy who made this movie? What's the guy's name? His name is eluding me.
Todd Phillips. No, is it
Todd
Yeah,
Phillips?
it's Todd Phillips. Yeah. Okay, this is a thing that I read. It's like somebody was saying online, this movie is a rejection, is a big fu to everybody who liked Joker 1. And then the guy I was reading said, okay, and Joker 1 was a big fu to people who like, Batman movies. And then The Hangover 3 was a big fu to people who like The Hangover 2. And Hangover 2 was like, this guy's whole career is built on misanthropic, like,
yeah, he is
Contrarianism, yeah.
he seems like
bad faith creative efforts. Like, he's always more interested in,
oh, you like that thing I did? Oh, you must be a fucking dumbass.
yes,
yeah, he seems like the I threw it on the ground guy from the Lonely Island song. Like that, just a needless contrarian.
Yeah.
There's an interview of him where there's a bunch of writers sitting at a table led by Aaron Sorkin, and some other big names are at the table, and he's talking about I think he was just talking about how he hates the writers union.
Oh yeah.
And all of this stuff, and he went on this kind of anti-union, and
What?
fuck this guy.
Yeah.
But like, I think that's what my point's going to be. But he seems like, just from a disposition standpoint, he just seems like a miserable fuck.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't. Yeah.
So he made a movie about miserable fuck.
Yeah, like,
yeah, you like that, you pieces of shit.
Yes, yeah. He is, and like he's the Aaron Rodgers of like, because he pushes everyone away. Everyone hates him. Like, he's got to push everyone away. He clearly didn't want to make this movie. They clearly just threw so much money at him that he had to take it, and then he hated himself for taking the movie because he's got to hate something.
Right.
He's got to feed the beast. Or else he'll kill himself.
See, it was based on a dream that
Joaquin Phoenix had. Yes.
It's like, shouldn't they know nobody wants to hear about dreams unless they're in them having sex or something?
Yeah. Like, it is so fucking stupid that to make it a musical, to put it in two settings, like it's only in the prison and in the, like, so it's not even an interesting visual movie.
Yeah.
Just every scene's in a prison cell or in a courthouse.
right.
It's so I don't know. Like, it seems incredibly stupid. And And then the whole time it's just about pissing off people who would have liked the first movie. Oh, you rooted for that, you fucking loser? You identified with this asshole,
Yeah.
you fucking incel prick?
Right.
Yeah, and so, goddamn, goddamn, Hollywood, you're beautiful. But the Joker gets raped. He gets raped in the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't, who? Sometimes I hate to be on the side of the fucking suits, but god damn it. Dude, there needed to be somebody that said, you're going to get the Joker raped in your movie?
Right.
What kind of edgy fucking, outlaw, comic bullshit was that? What kind of Rick Veitch level horseshit was that? You're
That's exactly what it is. Absolutely.
no,
yeah.
you're making a $200 million movie that didn't need to exist. We all agree with that.
With the generational talent too.
Yes, with probably the best working actor. And I think Catherine Keener's in it. Lady Gaga is she's better than this.
Right.
Yeah, that's another thing. She's if you're going to actually have a musical,
Yeah.
and you're going to have somebody play Harley Quinn, you're doing pretty good to get her.
Yeah.
And it's a jukebox musical, so it's just them picking songs. They didn't even write the songs.
Oh, it's a jukebox musical?
Yes.
What?
They sing "Come On, Get Happy" and shit.
Jesus. Oh man, I thought it would at least I thought there were 2 original songs and then it all wow.
No, it is the most lazy ass movie. It has 2 sets. And it's a jukebox musical. How lazy, literally just fucking phoning it in.
Wow, I didn't realize it was
written
a
over a
jukebox.
weekend. Fucking lazy can you be? They're paying you $20 million, dude.
God. Disgusting.
Yes.
That's so infuriating.
Yeah, it just makes me want to, I
See,
hate that kind of guy. Yes. And to see this movie fail is gratifying.
Yeah, he fails upward too.
I was actually looking forward to hearing the songs. I was like, oh, it's a jukebox. Oh man.
Yeah, they're singing songs from the 40s and shit. I think.
Oh God. Anything. I was like, oh, maybe there's something that they were trying to do, some integrity. It's no, okay.
No.
God.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have thought.
Well, guys, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's
I gotta go. I got people waiting on me.
All right.
All right. No, that's all right.
My people.
Yep.
You know how it is.
Yeah, I do.
But I think this was a successful pod.
Yeah, this was fun.
And
No, this was fun.
this was good.
Yeah.
This was good. I needed this, so.
All right.
I'll talk to you guys later.
See you later.
I need to see Megalopolis again. I
want to see it too, but I'm not paying.
Yeah.
God, I'm not paying that fucking dime for that movie.